Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about neurotransmission. So, contrary to what people may think and how you learned in the class, the body is not electrically hardwired. There are millions of neurons in the body, and they communicate to each other through neurotransmitters. Now, the neurons are the cells of the nervous system, and in between these cells, there are gaps, and these gaps are called synapses. So, neurotransmitters are chemicals that allow neurons to communicate across these synapses. So, when an action potential is generated, it moves along the neuron until it reaches the axon terminal of the presynaptic neuron. And the terminal is just the end of the neuron. And it's also important to highlight that the presynaptic neuron is the neuron that is carrying the current action potential. So once the action potential reaches the axon terminal, signaling molecules called neurotransmitters are released by the presynaptic neuron. These neurotransmitters move across the area between the two neurons, which I described as the synapse, and bind and react with the receptors on the dendrites of another neuron, which is called the postsynaptic neuron. So think of it this way. We have the initial neuron, which is carrying the action potential, and then there's a gap between the next neuron. So what neurotransmitters do, they're molecules that move across the gap or the synapse and allow either an action potential to be generated or not in the postsynaptic neuron. So once the neurotransmitter has bound to the receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, the postsynaptic neuron may be influenced in an inhibitory or excitatory way. An inhibitory response is also known as an inhibitory postsynaptic potential, or IPSP for short. An IPSP is less likely to generate an action potential in the postsynaptic neuron. An excitatory response is also known as an excitatory postsynaptic potential, or EPSP. It is a potential that is likely to increase an action potential in the postsynaptic neuron.